What is going on, guys? It's Suk and I am back with a brand new video on Super Duper Tech. And in today's video I'll be bringing you my full and in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy S8. Also, if you guys are yet to see my speed test comparison videos between the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the LG G6 as well as the iPhone 7 Plus, then go ahead and check them out. They'll be the first links down below in the description. But without any further ado, let's hit the titles. So the first thing that I do want to get into talking about is the overall design and aesthetics of the S8. Now, it is primarily made out of both metal and glass and does feel very nice in the hand. Now, over on the rear of the device you will find the 12 megapixel camera, which is capable of shooting 4K video at 30 frames per second. And on either side you will find the LED flash along with the fingerprint sensor. And over on the right hand side of the device you will find the power button, and on the front of the device you will find a 5.8 inch diagonal screen which has an incredible aspect ratio of 18.5 by 9. And taking a closer look at the left hand side, you will find the volume rocker along with a dedicated button to summon the Bixby voice assistant. The top of the device is where you will insert your SIM card and micro SD card. There is also a microphone at the top of the device. And taking a look at the bottom of the device, you will find a speaker grill, a USB-C port along with a headphone jack. The display on the S8 comes in at 5.8 inches. Now, while that would typically sound like a rather huge screen for a smartphone, due to the 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio along with the subtle curves around the edges of the display, the S8 feels very comfortable in hand and may be one of the most comfortable phones I have ever held. And when you pair that with the 2960 by 1440 AMOLED display, consuming media on the S8 is a joyful experience. Now, whilst I have mainly had positive thoughts on the display on the S8, I do feel that features that are built into the curve are a bit of an afterthought, and a lot of tasks that you can do with the curve on the S8 can normally be done a lot faster just by using it as you normally would. And in terms of power and performance, the model that I had was rocking the Exynos 8895 processor. Now, this is an octa-core processor that comes with 4GB of RAM. Now, if you guys do want to see what results I got when benchmarking the S8, then you can click the card in the top right corner to go and check out my video. And in my testing, this processor is on par with the Snapdragon 835 that can be found in other smartphone flagships such as the HTC U11. Therefore, of course, the smartphone itself does feel very responsive and snappy, but the only thing that I feel is holding it back is the way that Samsung manages its RAM. Now, in terms of the performance of the cameras on the S8, I did once again upload a separate video in which I went over the 12 megapixel rear camera and the 8 megapixel front selfie camera. And once again, you can find a card in the top right corner, or links can be found down below in the description if you want to check that video out. But to keep things short, the cameras on the S8 are capable of taking some amazing images and videos. And either way, you will not be disappointed with the performance of these cameras. Now, one thing which I was hoping for was that the S8 would have killer audio and be able to rival that found with the iPhone 7 Plus. But what I found was average audio performance, the same as which that I would find with a OnePlus 5. Now, one thing which has been widely discussed on technology sites as well as social media is the placement of the fingerprint sensor on the back of the S8. While at first I did not like its placement, the more that I used the S8, the more familiar I got with its placement. Now, if you are left-handed, then I would understand as to why you would not want to use this phone, as of course the fingerprint scanner is on the right hand side of the device. This of course does mean that you would have to stretch your finger over the entire surface of the back. So in this case, I would have much preferred it if Samsung had gone down the routes that LG and Google went with the Pixel and put the fingerprint sensor in the middle of the back. So if you're not a fan of the fingerprint scanner being on the rear of the device, maybe iris scanning will be for you. Now I do find that in general it does take a few more seconds than it would with the fingerprint scanner to unlock your device, but of course there are a number of different factors such as the lighting that has an overall impact on the time taken to unlock the device. But once you get yourself used to holding the S8 in a particular way and a particular distance from your eyes, I have noticed that the time to unlock the device can be significantly decreased by doing just these things. Also included with the S8 are a pair of in-ear earphones which are tuned by AKG. Now as I said earlier, these are the in-ear type of earphones, which does mean that a secure fit is the optimum way to listen to the music. Luckily enough, Samsung do include 3 extra ear tips. Now I have noticed that when using these earphones, the bass is slightly more imposed, and that the levels of volume are slightly higher than what I would have got with say my typical Apple earphones. But that may be down to the fact that they create a seal blocking out external noise. You'll also be pleased to know that the Galaxy S8 is IP68 water and dust resistant. Now this does mean that the device can be submerged in up to 1.5 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. And you can also increase this device's storage to a total of 320 gigabytes using a 256 gigabyte memory card. Another feature which I really do enjoy is wireless charging. Now while it is annoying at times to have to set your phone in a particular way just for it to charge, I do thoroughly enjoy the advantages of just being able to pop your phone on a little pad and have it automatically charge up. And in particular, I enjoy using this feature at night as I don't have to mess around trying to find my cable to plug in the phone to charge. All I have to do is simply put it on its charging pad. Now seeing as we're talking about battery life and charging up the device, I'm sure it wouldn't shock anyone to find out that as a brand new device, I was getting a full day's battery life when using it. And when I limited my usage of applications such as Instagram, Snapchat and YouTube, I was easily able to push it to around 2 days. So who would I advise on buying this smartphone? Now if you have previously owned a Samsung smartphone, then by all means you will like the user interface and what Samsung have done overall with Android. I mean, the design and build quality of this smartphone is perhaps the best that I've seen in any smartphone thus far, and that Super AMOLED display with its crazy resolution means that images look crisp, vibrant and bright. The camera is amazing and is most certainly up there in the top 5 and maybe even the top 3 of all smartphone cameras. The performance is certainly there to rival most other flagships from other companies, and of course you're getting that great battery life. Now if I'm really being picky, the one thing which I didn't really enjoy on the S8 is Bixby, and I most certainly did not enjoy the fact that the Bixby button could not be mapped to do other things. Now if you couldn't care less about Bixby and voice assistants in general, then by sure the S8 is an amazing device. Now if you are looking to purchase an Android device, then I would say hold out just a little longer. This is as there is going to be a plethora of new Android smartphones coming out over the next few weeks. I mean, from Samsung we're going to have the Note 8, from Google we're going to have the new Google Pixel, from the likes of Essential we're going to have the new Essential phone, and from LG we're going to have the V30. And this is before we even start thinking about Apple when they're scheduled to release 3 new iPhones. So then guys, that has been it for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, then be sure to hit that like button, and if you are new around here, then why not subscribe? If you do want to see what videos I am currently working on, then be sure to add me and follow me on my social media. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.